What is up, Patriot family? How y'all doing today? I know that was a little high pitched for this morning.
That was no, it's all right. We all just adjusted
4
our.
shots of espresso already, so I'm like
Oh.
crazy.
Thank you
There's
so
a
much.
lot going on today.
There's
so much happening.
there's a ton happening. Most importantly, Allie is joining us live from D.C. So I miss you, my bestie, but I'm so glad for all the hard work you're doing there. I'm assuming that Capitol Hill has heard the footsteps of Allie Leger, and they're going to get on passing that Save America Act soon. But listen,
Only
guys.
if they were in session. Nobody has freaking been here all week.
It's like spring break.
Well, it's
But only
almost,
for
it
Congress.
makes me wonder, like, did they do the partial shutdown just so they could not show up for another week? I'm not sure. Well, Monday was a federal holiday. I don't really know what's going on with Tuesday and today. We'll see. The president is back in.
And there are so many people, Allie, that, even when they're on vacation, their work, not that I'm advocating for this, but that some people have a work ethic where it's like, even if I'm on vacation, I'm still like keeping tabs on things, or you never fully disengage because it's just like you're so invested in the mission of what you're doing, especially when you love what you do. Well, so it's shocking to see people just be like, yep, he's out. I'm just like out, and we're not going to save the country today. I'm going to go to the beach.
For specific congressional members, this week, if it's not scheduled like for them to be in DC, they're back in their districts doing district work.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is important, and it is an election year, so I think it is important for a lot of our elected representatives who want to be reelected to stay away from things that would completely implode their careers.
Yeah,
so yes, they need to be seen.
They need to be seen, absolutely. Guys, if you're joining us today for the first time, we want to welcome you to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle. We break down all the top news and headlines without the propaganda, without the spin, and we teach it to you and talk to you about it on a kitchen table level, because the important thing is that you understand it and that you understand how to talk about it, because you are what are going to save the nation by going forward and talking to your friends and family. Don't believe the hype about, don't talk about religion and politics. Excuse me, those are the two things that this country was founded on. You better be prepared to talk about them at all times. What does the Bible say? Be prepared to give an answer for the hope that you have. You might want to be able to talk about both the founding of your country and your faith. Got a lot of topics to cover today, plus I'm sure some breaking news that might pop in here and there. Thank you to our Talk Red family. Allie, I guess we should go ahead and
open that mic. Let's go.
Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, he gon' ride with us. Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor of Magaville, the RNC King. 2024, freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on.
So, Allie, whenever we have tech issues or, lighting issues, you name it, internet issues, we always blame the gremlins in the studio, even if my brain goes foggy. It's not the lack of sleep.
No, it's definitely the gremlins.
So we have our own mascot now. Open Mic Ladies has our own mascot. There he is. He's so cute. Wait, now he's got a cigar. He's got a Liberty cigar.
Yeah.
And we're affirming that we know the gender.
Yes,
this is not gender fluid. Okay.
No, it's definitely a boy. And my girls decided to name him since.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
What is the name?
His name is Grimsley.
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 Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Grimsley the Gremlin. Very sweet.
Funny.
Well, Grimsley, maybe we need to send Grimsley to D.C. when everybody gets back in town, to maybe send him knocking over on Thune's door and say, let's get the ball rolling, sir.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
Want to start with some news that you shared with me over the past couple days, talking about trade. across the globe. We are literally making trade great again. I want you to take a look at this Rapid Response 47 post. President Trump has now secured trade agreements with major U.S. trading partners. I mean, there's just a list right there covering more than half the globe. And half of the global GDP. So this is America First policy, because if you go back, Allie, first of all, did you know that of course we have a World Health Organization, which we want nothing to do with. There's a World Trade Organization.
Yes, there is a World
WTO. I would say WTF, but
well, that's kind of what imploded in 2020. Was it? Oh my God, 2001. It was the World Trade Center. Out of New York City. So yeah, I mean, and I think largely tariffs have been the proverbial weapon that President Trump has been able to use in order to properly trade with other nations, and make it more advantageous for America, instead of these other nations taking advantage of Americans, and our products and our culture and our shipping and all that stuff. So
you're absolutely correct, Allie. And one of the things I want to point out is that, as Allie's talking about tariffs, one of the things that the World Trade Organization has done, they've kind of been butting heads, go figure, with Donald Trump as early as just last month, trying to really have him reel in some of the liberties that he's taking with negotiating these trade agreements and the tariffs. It's funny because it's just like what we saw in our healthcare system when the World Health Organization wanted to drag our health bureaucracies over to them, to more of a global theology. And what we're seeing here is Trump is fighting back and saying, my right to negotiate trade and my right as the president, for duly elected president, to negotiate tariffs is constitutional in origin. It's not global in origin. So with all due respect, thank you. I don't need your permission to do what I'm doing. And the World Trade Organization does not know what to do with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see more back and forth and almost the U.S. just kind of stiff-arming the global community and saying, this is our America First policy.
I agree 100%. And the way that President Trump has been able to do this is through tariffs. No one else has been able to do it. And there's a lot of people that are upset about it. And they're like, oh, we're not in the, 1800s, 1700s. Like, yeah, but this is the only way that he has been able to leverage good trade deals. Otherwise, we would still be stuck dealing with what we've been dealing with, making America last. And that is not what President Trump ran on. And he is a businessman first and foremost. He wants to make America and Americans, their lives, better than what they were. So, I mean, he's an amazing president, one of the best of our time. And so thank you. It's Happy President's Day. Thank you so much to him.
Yes. Well, and Allie will be at the White House this evening. That's why she is in D.C. So I told her to throw some elbows to get the president.
I'm so excited.
I know. So excited that she's invited.
My poor Brandon Strzok, I'm going to have to do a video for Brandon and let him know, because he's always he's like, Allie, you're like always there. And it's so funny because he's like, do you have a bedroom now at the White House? I'm like, yes, I stay.
Do you have a secret entrance where it's like,
my own secret entrance. Everyone knows. Well,
and it's Open Mic Ladies is expanding, and we're so grateful for all that you do through the Hollow Alliance. We give call to actions for everybody to follow up on. So we're grateful for what you do, Allie. I do want to pivot to somebody else that listen, we have the best representatives here in the state of Florida.
Yes, we
not
do.
only on the House side, but the Senate side as well. We've talked about America First policies and Florida First policies, and here is somebody that's representing us in Congress that understands it better than anybody. Of course, I'm talking about Congressman Greg Steube. Why do we sometimes have, whether it's a college or a corporation, that will hire people from other countries to do a job that American workers could do? I'm not talking about something that's culturally specific. I'm talking about like a marketing director. Why would you have an H-1B visa program that's skipping the line of American workers that want to work? Greg Steube he's not worried about making friends. He's worried about making a difference. He addressed this. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I mentioned at the top, you've got a new bill to radically change the controversial H-1B visa program. It's called the Exile Act. We put it on the screen here.
Yeah, we have highly skilled workers here. The problem is they import workers from India and China at the detriment of American workers. This puts American workers first. And we've seen example after example. If you follow me on X, and you can see all the different examples that we put in place where businesses suddenly get all these H-1B visas, and then they fire Americans that were doing a great job and were able to function in that capacity because they can put these people there for cheaper. They can do all these different things at the detriment of American workers. And I don't think that that's good foreign policy. I don't think that we should be shipping in talent from India and China when we have that talent here. China is the #1 national security threat to the United States. The last thing that I want is their young people here to take our patents and our intelligence and our intellectual property back to China, which is exactly why China is one of the biggest users of the H-1B visa, because they get all of that information and take it back to China.
Precisely.
I mean, he just swing and connected. I don't know if you've seen Congressman Steube pitch in the congressional baseball games,
so
but
good.
he's pretty awesome.
He's a good ball player, that's for sure.
I love what he's saying here, Allie. We in this country we have very strict intellectual property guidelines and laws, and you and I have to tiptoe around that every day, and respectfully so, and we should. So why do we allow other countries to completely step over that and rob and steal intellectual property from our country, go to their country, and yes, you'll go on to Temu and Shein and you'll buy it there for cheaper, but we really need to, America first is also how we address global policy, and I love, he's calling it the Exile Act. He's like,
Yes.
I don't even care if you like the name.
I don't even care. And I like it precisely. I mean, and it's a great question. It's a great question. And it poses a national security risk, honestly. If you think about it, and I love that he's thinking in that way. Byron Donalds also is of the same cloth that way. We have Corey Mills that's of the same cloth in that way, and he sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee, I believe. So it all is encompassing, right? Like, if we're not protecting our own intellectual property from adversaries, right? And it's hard to say that, oh, well, China's an adversary, but they clearly are. They clearly
are. Thank you, Wuhan. We appreciate your collaboration with Fauci. Like, with really,
it was a bioweapon. It wasn't even a vaccine. Like, let's be real. So and then it was in coordination with our own government and people that were in governmental positions, and they still haven't been held accountable. So
absolutely,
yes, we need to make sure that
and we're women. We don't forget easily. Like, we'll just remind you casually. That we have not forgotten. Allie, part of what this reminds me of too, with him being so strong in the H-1B visa program, is we've been to a couple of press conferences with Governor Ron DeSantis here in Florida, where he's talking about, really being firm on how this is handled in our higher education programs, because some of our universities have been known to get professors and those that lead certain departments within the college from other countries. And again, it's something that could be done here. What does this say, I think, to the stance that we're taking in this country? I think our young people should be tuned into this. We are going 100%. To actually value our young workers, whether you're going into college, whether you're learning a trade, whatever you're doing, we want to prop you up to be first in line for those jobs. Now our schools and our school systems need to get really in line to be able to push these types of workers into the system, right?
That exactly that. And that's part of the problem, right? Is that we don't have enough of these specific talents within our schools in order to put that into the workforce. And so they're outsourcing our American jobs to foreign people. And that is not how you sustain the American way of life. That's not how you sustain American sovereignty. And that's not how you help develop the future of America, especially if you don't have the youth and the younger generations that are being placed into these positions.
And this would be, listen, to all my teachers union adversaries who have a ton to say about me, and I'm totally fine with that. You don't understand. This is a platform that the teachers union could pick up and say, you know what? We're going to, instead of encouraging students to walk out in protest during normal school hours, let's, as a teachers union who want to put teachers and students first, let's make this our new platform. Let's provide the workforce that America needs to grind back into the industrial mega stronghold that we once were. Like, that would probably be something we could agree on. I would probably speak at your events if you picked up that kind of platform instead of having kids walk out.
But that, it just goes to show you that the NEA, the National Education Association, does not.
And the Florida.
And the Florida, all of the unions, they don't care about student outcomes. They don't care about actually making sure that we have a good workforce. They don't care. And putting them into liberal arts does not produce workforce people. It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
And I'll be honest, because so that was the first time I went to college. It was for a liberal arts degree, and I do still use that today. But that is not.
It can be in conjunction with something else.
Yes, that's the thing. It took the other tools, right, Allie, that you and I both have learned, whether it's in media or marketing, public speak, like there's other tools that you take. We have a real deficiency in, I think, across the nation in a lot of the skilled trades. I've talked about it here before, even simple reading of blueprints on a job site. This is something that we could be doing through our schools, through dual enrollment programs, through higher education.
Well,
we should be doing it in our school systems.
Michelle, it's hard because now these last couple of generations, their job, if you ask them what they want to do, what they want to fix when they grow up, they're like, I want to be an influencer. I want to be a YouTuber. And it's all honestly because they have these devices in their hands and they have like short attention spans because all they do is watch cartoons that have been changed drastically to move faster. They have brighter colors. They move faster. They take away your attention, increase your, they lower your attention span. And then it's the same thing with shorts and reels. The attention span is like 30 seconds. It's literally of a fish. A fish is like 3 seconds, I think it is. But still, it's the
Which is a step even from the microwave generation. Like I used to joke and say we're the microwave generation. It's a total different generation.
And social media is also geared towards, it's different towards different cultures, right? In different regions of the world. So China, a lot of the things that they push on TikTok is like math and science and engineering and all of that. But what they push through TikTok in America is smut and girls and boys shaking their butts on top of cars and fighting and protesting and division and
absolutely
so we have to make sure what we're showing our children and what we're showing the next generation is something that invites them into wanting solve our nation's problems, because the government can't solve them for you. It's up to us to solve them.
And it's not up to Trump to solve them. And that's what I get a lot of people will say is that, why isn't Trump doing this? Why isn't Trump doing that? It is your backyard. It is your school district. It's your state. Trump's got to be like, what would you like me to do? Like, I'm not God. Like, I'm not a deity. I'm a president for a time. And it's our job to carry that mission forward. I think also, Allie, part of what I love. Part of what I love about what you and I get a chance to do in what I'm hearing in response is that we get to affect a little bit of culture. And I think that's what we have to do. For so long as Christians and as conservatives, we've thought that like the world and entertainment and media is a place that we're not welcome. So we just we stay back. And if you don't actively engage, evil only persists and permeates in an absence of good. So we are actually meant to occupy those positions. And I think that's what's fun, that we get to encourage people. You know how they did Occupy Wall Street? No, go occupy the territory that God's given you, right? Right around here.
You know what makes us different is we don't need your access. We create our own. And we build our own lane. I don't need your access. I don't need your proximity.
I'm pretty sure Allie got invited to the White House today, so
yeah,
you can hide your access. Let's talk about another strong woman that's out there doing it and doing it well. It's Representative Anna Paulina Luna from right here in the free state of Florida. She is not letting go of insider stock trading. She's going to tear the veil a little bit and let you know a little bit that she's unveiled. We'll just play a portion of this interview. Take a listen.
But they're effectively telling us not to represent what our constituents want. And my constituents wanted to ban government corruption. It affects legislation. It affects everything that we vote on. When you have members of Congress personally enriching themselves, Nancy Pelosi, a 17,000% return famously on her portfolio, outperforming Warren Buffett, both Democrat and Republican that engaged in individual stock trades on average are getting over 600% returns, which is still outperforming the S&P. So what ends up happening is we're sitting on the Capitol steps, we introduce this, and of course our phones start lighting up and we're getting grilled, and they're just like, you're trying to cost us the majority, and like, how could you put your colleagues in this type of position? And then other members of Congress that were getting mad because they wanted to, get credit for it, were like, she just parachuted in and stole our idea. It's like stealing an idea. You guys aren't doing anything with this. Like, what do you mean? I'm just trying to stop government corruption.
For just having introduced the bill in the first place,
or like,
they were gonna do it.
I just know that
you bring it back, David.
And I was like, I'm gonna get a bill that's been filed that's not going anywhere.
Yes. I love that.
Does it sound familiar, Allie? Have we heard the same lingo?
Yep. Well, it's been sitting here. So why is it sitting here? Nobody's doing anything about it. And you're talking about it because it's something that you can actually vote on, but not solve. So if you don't solve the issue and you don't push the issue forward, you can go back to your constituents and be like, oh, I filed so many bills. Well, how many did you get passed? That
did you
and,
get
and
across
no
the
one
finish?
asks those questions. No one asks
No.
those questions. But when you do ask those questions, you're like, you stump the representative.
Do you want to jeopardize the majority? Listen, you guys, turn your volume up
Wild.
just a little bit. The majority means nothing if you behave like the minority.
That part.
It is not a majority if you can't move the needle. And I'm sick and tired of like be red for red's sake. No, red needs to be sharpened. Red needs,
Yes.
we're going to be the right kind of red. Do you understand how many different shades of
We're
red
gonna
there
take that.
are?
We're gonna take that lip liner pencil and we're gonna put it through that pencil sharpener
Yep.
and just sharpen that bad boy, because that's what, and then we're gonna light it on fire. So, all right, nice. You know what I'm saying? Because
I know,
that's
ma'am.
that's what needs to happen. And I love that Anna Paulina Luna is a fierce woman who is putting her foot down and saying, this is what my constituents want, end all be all, period. And if you don't like it, not my problem. I'm here to represent them. I'm not here to represent the stock traders. I'm not here to represent the lobbyists. I'm here to represent the biggest lobbyist, which is we the people. And
That's right. You know what they did to her in return? They tried to bring up her past as a swimsuit model. You know what she said?
So, she's like, bring it.
Yep. That's me.
I was a swimsuit model.
And
it was on Maxim. And so what? What have you done? And she reposted it.
I love it. And women everywhere were like,
it's like the
well, no, we were like, I love it. Who is this woman?
She's a Republican. She can't be in that
And she
bathing
wears
suit.
heels and maybe less jewelry. Like,
She can't
you
be
know
in
what?
a bathing suit on a magazine. Meanwhile, we have the first lady who is literally like, I mean, go look up Melania.
It's the fortunate party that knows what a woman is. Maybe we should celebrate it. I don't know.
And women are sexy, and women in power are sexy. They're intimidating to insecure men, but they are sexy.
We're gonna get another show. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Where's Grimsley? We love you, Grimsley. Where is he? Can we get a Grimsley?
He agrees.
He agrees? Okay. Grimsley is all in favor. Maybe we need a female gremlin. Maybe Grimsley's good. There he is. Hi, sweetie. Maybe
We'll
he's
have to
going to get a
find
little
him.
lonely.
We'll have to find him a girlfriend.
Find him a girlfriend. I think it's got to be very Melania-esque. I think that's who I see Grimsley with, like arm candy kind of, but she's like fierce. You know? Okay, anyway. So let's pivot a little bit to our young people, because I know this is something that's passionate to both Allie and I. Guys, this took place in Daytona Beach. It's not getting a lot of airtime. Local news is playing it. But this family with their 13-year-old in Daytona Beach, again, think about spring break coming up, right? Not trying to fear you, just saying be aware of your surroundings. Take a listen to what happened to their 13-year-old right in front of them. Take a look.
As soon as we realized what happened, I could see his neck gashed wide open. I could see all the way down to the meat.
13-year-old Sullivan Clark was on his phone walking with his parents near the slingshot ride when police say Jermaine Long walked up and slashed his throat. His mom, Lori, initially thought it was a robbery.
I thought he was stealing Sully's phone. As soon as he slashed him, I yelled. I said, hey.
Sullivan's father, Jared, says the sight was something he can never unsee.
The doctor told him 1 millimeter deep, and we'd be having a different conversation.
Sullivan says a split-second glance at a boardwalk ride is likely the only reason he survived.
The crazy thing is, I turned at the perfect time because I was on the phone and I looked. I happened to be looking up at like the slingshot, and I turned, and that's how he got the side of my neck and not right here.
Police say they found Long hiding near the overpass on the pier and arrested him.
Oh my God.
Does that not remind you of Butler, Pennsylvania? Just the turn of a face and a different outcome. Here's what I need for you guys to know. And nobody is, you notice she didn't put this in the report. Here's what nobody's saying. Let's take a look at the laundry list from the perpetrator. I mean, come on.
And this is in Florida, you guys. Like, what?
Just all this was a quick criminal search of his name. What? Again, you know, get him off the street, but you've got areas, guys, in your red states that have very blue-ish strongholds or weak, limp red. You choose your poison, but they're both bad. And we've got to be strong on crime. We've got to be strong on punishment for the crime. I want you guys to take a look. Elon Musk is now on this bandwagon of why are we being so soft on punishment. Take a listen. He said if someone's guilty of a heinous crime and is able to plead insanity,
Yep.
that should go. They should go to an asylum.
Yep.
And not to be released in order to escalate the next murder or rape. There's a graph here where he talks about the difference in population. So we look at 1955 versus 2025. We had 165 million people in 1955 and 300, almost double, really, right now in 2025. But look at what's happened to the population of mental access to mental, whether it's a mental institution, some kind of mental health help. It's non-existent. What they've done basically is just open the doors. This is why in California, especially in other areas like that, you see an overwhelming transient population. Where was this guy hiding out that did this in Daytona Beach? Under the overpass. Some of them are transient. They're unable to really effectively coexist in society. And if we're not giving them help, and also not detaining them because they're able to plea down, what is the solution? Like we can't tell our kids in school, if you do the crime, you do the time, and then not have adults who do the crime do the time. Like something has to change here.
Yeah, well, not even the students are getting the proper punishment, first of all, so let's go there. But also, I think that this is a bigger issue because we no longer have proper psychiatric care. What we have is ideology pushed through psychiatric care. We have people that are trying to do the best that they can as far as psychological medications and medical modalities go, but they're essentially held by red tape because of the ideology that's being pushed through this curriculum, which is also being pushed through our colleges. So it is a bigger issue than just, following the law, right? And yes, there does need to be laws where this is available, like you actually, go into an insane asylum or a psychiatric ward. But if they're not available and you don't have the resources to do that, you can't properly follow the law. So it is compounded. And I'm honestly worried that if we do start opening them, they're going to try and trans everybody because that's the ideology that's being pushed through our psychology and our psychiatry. So it's frustrating that this is occurring, but it's also opening the eyes on what the bigger issue is. And again, it's not easy. It's not simple. You can't solve it simply. You have to restructure things and you have to make sure that the ideology is no longer available.
And I think that it's time to take, just like we looked at how the health industry was hijacked by extremists, it's time to look at the mental health complex and see how that has been hijacked. I mean, now they're coming out and saying, oh my gosh, maybe we shouldn't, chop off body parts of young children. Well, we were telling you that all along, but how much money did you make in the process while you claimed willful ignorance? And I think it's time to take a look also at the mental health. I want to, David in the studio, I just want to forward a little bit because for the sake of time, these student walkouts in schools are getting out of hand. And it's not just across the country, it's right here in the state of Florida. Part of the concern is, listen, I don't know who's responsible for these children once they walk out of the schools, because as a parent, I can tell you one thing, if I think my child's sitting in math and they walk out and get hit by a car, school districts are potentially going to be on the hook for this. What about the third-party organizations that are funneling a lot of money into these school districts? What about these teachers unions? These teachers unions that are standing at press conferences with activists who are pushing walkouts. Take a look at what's happening at some of these walkouts. This is an adult walking down the street trying to get some control of a mob, and take a look what happens to him. Take a look. Pat him down, kick him.
This is what they're doing in their schools. They're behaving this way with each other. Yes. And why are they doing that? One, because there's no longer in-school suspension. You're not allowed to suspend students. You're not allowed to discipline students. You're not even allowed to discipline the student that actually caused the problem. You discipline the one that is the victim, right? Which doesn't make any damn sense. I hate that. It is so ridiculous. And it's 100% communist. I can't stand it. Yes. And then you sit there and it's spread out through all social media. They video it and this is what they're shown. time and time again. These mobs, these fights.
The images.
What do you think is going to happen? These are moldable minds. Moldable minds. It is absolutely egregious. It is.
I think the only solution is something that we've seen here locally, which is a really, really strong stance on a zero tolerance policy. And what that's going to do, having a zero tolerance policy, is it's going to force it to be uncomfortable for the parents of these children. I'm going to tell you guys something. Growing up in the good old days, if I inconvenienced my parents' day-to-day schedule, like, oh, I don't know, had in-school suspension or had detention for an hour after school, banging erasers or, you know, writing on chalkboards, and my mom had to miss her first hour of her afternoon shift, or my dad had to get out of work early, or if it inconvenienced Ma and Pa, I felt the ramifications when I got home.
Yep.
It's time to say, you know what, parents, you're right. It's not fun and it's not easy, and we love you and we're here to be a support for you, but
raise your damn kids.
Absolutely. Don't give them just the devices. And let's also work cohesively, because we've seen parents who do take a stand and say, I'm not going to sit there and tell you you're in the wrong body, sweetheart. No, God made you perfectly in his image.
Yeah, and
then
the
those parents get singled out. Yes.
Right. The government comes in and steals your children and then transes them anyway. Like, that is ridiculous. And then, so I like what you said about the zero tolerance here in Florida. However, there are still strongholds in certain counties that are doing these walkouts. There is a parent that literally walked into a high school and was like, you guys are participating in walkouts. I'm taking my kid today. Yep. Disenrollment.
And then don't come to me and tell me that the public school system attendance is, or, you know, enrollment is dwindling because of scholarships and school choice. It's because parents are saying, I do have a choice, and you can keep your activism somewhere else. And
right.
They're working both sides of the angle. The left, the insane left, is working both sides of the angle. They are saying, here's the problem, people, we're losing students, and they're causing the loss of students.
Yes. And then what are we funding? Are we funding buildings, or are we funding student outcomes?
Empty classrooms and textbooks that sometimes don't teach phonics. I don't know. Guys, keep it locked here for more Open Mic. We're going to continue with the talk of young people, including, you know, when the national administration gets a hold of something, it tends to turn the temperature up and change the situation. I'm talking about the Assistant Attorney General, Harmeet Dillon, I'll get it right, finally picking up a case about Turning Point being singled out. You're not going to miss it. More Open Mic after this.
From the heart of Marietta, Georgia, comes a tribute to the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com, because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OpenMic for 10% off your order.
Welcome back to Open Mic with Allie and Michelle. Make sure you're following at Real Allie Leger, at Michelle Posey, and at Open Mic Ladies on all social media platforms. You can also visit www.openmicladies.com to learn more about us. Would you like us to speak at your event? We have been called to speak at
several over the last couple of weeks.
Remember the Charlie Kirk, the Turning Point event where we called, who was it we called with the entire...
Chuck Schumer. With about over 500 people, and we gave Chuck Schumer's number to all of them, and we have actually gotten messages saying that they have made those phone calls. So your platform is wherever you are, and it does work. When you apply your political pressure at the appropriate political pressure points, you move the needle, which is exactly what has been happening with the Save America Act. And I'm so thankful for Scott Presler being able to elevate it in a way with his platform, because he has way more followers than I do. So, you know, the over 200,000 plus followers he has on his platform, and then going on to Fox News, which is great. I mean, I've talked about it on Dan Ball too, but yes, the Save America Act is a prime example of that. applying your political pressure. Also, so is if we had spoken, I was in Punch Bowl. If you go on X, you can go to a Punch Bowl newsroom and they have a space there and they talk about the things that are in the headlines. And one of the things that was discussed was when we talk about the GOP and their framing and their narrative, we suck at framing. We suck at messaging. And it really is up to us to create that messaging. And so the left right now has framed ICE as the bad guys. And so you can go to ice.gov and they do press releases every day, okay, on who they're picking up, what their crimes were. And you can repost those, reshare those, and show your support for ICE and our law enforcement so that we can take back that narrative and push forward our support as well. So,
well, and we're going to get to one of those very cute videos here in just a little bit. Thank you for reminding us of that, Allie. So as we've seen before the commercial break with teachers unions and third-party organizations, really NGOs trying to push for students to walk out in protest of ICE, keep in mind a majority of the students stay in their seats and continue their education for the day, so their First Amendment rights are being heard as well. They're largely saying we choose education, but they're not the ones that are getting the headlines. However, apparently one person took it upon themselves to say, you know, there was an event, a Turning Point event. This is out of Maryland, out of Calvert County. This person has admitted, for the sake of time, we'll just kind of maybe show a brief clip of it, but she's admitted that she turned over these children and their families to the Department of Children and Families for attending a Turning Point event. Harmeet Dillon said, not so fast. Take a look.
Right.
And in the announcement of your position, it was said, we hope you will be more inclusive. I agree. I would like the anti-racism statement returned. In December of 2025, Turning Point USA hosted an event marketed to high school students with food and beverages advertised as an incentive for attendance. While community building opportunities for students are important, this event raises serious concerns related to student safety, parental rights, and governance oversight. Event materials indicated that adults...
Hold on. Turning Point events are harsh because you're worried about student safety, parental rights, and supervision. What the hell is happening on these student walkouts? Where's the parental rights? They're not even being notified. Where's the safety? And there sure as hell isn't supervision. And if your teacher is being paid their salary from the district and they're going out and supervising these walkouts, they need to be held accountable. Talking out of both sides of your mouth. Listen, Harmeet Dillon said, She said, I'm looking into this case. Take a look. This is just somebody so I love this because they're showing up and down the street these students who are walking out. First of all, you give a high school student a hall pass and say, you want to get out of class for the rest of the day. They'll hold just about any sign because we've all been that age and been like, hey, cool, let's do it. But there's no supervision there.
And then
there's no supervision there.
They're holding foreign flags. There is no supervision. So why are you going to refer CPS cases, which has highly and largely been kidnapping children of innocent families that are not abusing their children? But anyway, I digress. That's another initiative that I'm working on with several other organizations. It's called I believe it's called Family First Army is what we're calling it, and more of that will come. So keep it locked here. But that is just absolutely wild. Why? Like we're just going to. This is what you call cognitive dissonance. It's mind virus.
Yes. It is a mind virus, and you can't. It's literally like common sense. I joke with people because I put on my literature for a candidate, the common sense candidate, but it's not so common anymore. Like it's becoming a rare commodity to be able to make the correlation between that sounds like BS and here's why it is BS. Like you should be able to call that whether it's Democrat or Republican. I want to fast forward real quick, David, if we could skip to the White House. To Trump basically calling out Democrats to do their part. I didn't know this, and you probably wouldn't know it unless you're in Washington, D.C. like Allie is, but Trump posted this. He said, Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C., who are responsible for their massive sewage spill in the Potomac River must get to work. He said if they don't do their job, they'll obviously call and ask me to politely fix it. The federal government is not at all involved with what's taking place with that, and we can fix it. But he said, remember, even in that case, with the Democrat shutdown, we'll have to bring in true patriots to do the work because many are not working right now. So he is tying both things into one. He's saying the government shut down, the Democrats are owning it, and these local municipalities are to blame for this sewage spill in the Potomac River. Where are all of our environmentalists? Where are they?
Missing.
Where are they? I don't see any signs.
No.
Or vagina hats like they had it, on the front of the steps of the Supreme. I don't see any of like the activism. Like, can we maybe tell the students that this is really an issue for our environment, and on a Saturday, instead of sleeping in, we're going to have all students gather around 10 o'clock, and we're going to advocate to clean up this sewage spill.
Yeah,
that would be a lesson that I could stand behind.
It's a lesson, but it's not sexy, and it is not it's not one of those things that I think the teachers unions really care about. It's never about the issue, guys. It's always about the narrative and the control. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Take a look at this, Allie. I labeled this, we voted for this. This is a statistic. Take a look. So the Department of Homeland Security is what they're fighting about the funding over. Remember, that doesn't include ICE. ICE is funded through the big, beautiful bill. But if you take a look, Department of Homeland Security is shutting off welfare to illegals. It's down 36% of participation in welfare programs. 42% of illegal aliens have avoided applying altogether. Why? Because it's a deterrence when you have strong leadership. And 11% of illegal aliens have dropped out of the welfare program. Basically, they're just, so they're seeing the handwriting on the wall. Just like an open border policy through the Biden administration allowed them to come in, the deterrent is working, and the Democrats want to shut off funding to this. Why exactly? What is your platform? How do you plan to get through 2026 midterms? I don't understand how you're the party of like bankrupting the American people through their tax dollars and an open border, like crime-ridden nation like this. I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense, and it only makes sense if you don't think about it. It makes sense if you don't think about it. It's
like a toxic
absolutely wild. So it's why on earth are we, as senators, representatives of the United States constituency, utilizing or using our national security as leverage in order to fund illegal aliens?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Allie. Absolutely. Well, what I love about Trump's strong stances, and this is what I think we need more of even in your local races as far as leadership, is you have to force somebody said something to me the other day at an event, coming out of an event. It was a school board meeting. You're so polarizing. Really? It's either this or this. And I said to them, listen, I love you, and I can lovingly love you. But here's two things you have to know. You have to divide good from evil, right from wrong, bad versus good. You have to. And whether you're a believer or not, even God separates the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah.
You have to understand what to call things. That's not polarizing. That's discernment. That's making a decision. Are we even teaching our young people in schools that it's not hate to call something what it is? It's hate to bully. It's hate to kick somebody's head in the bathroom. 6 to 1. That is hate. But it's not hate to call something what it is. We are going to have to start having this conversation, you guys. We could pivot back to mental health because there was a shooting. Another shooting in Rhode Island. We're not giving the name of the person. I'm not giving them any airway whatsoever, but you have to understand, transing people, giving people lots of medications to make them biologically different is a detriment to society. I can love you and say, you know what? You're not going to change your sex through surgery or through some kind of chemical, because that's how you were created. Wear what you want, do what you want, don't break any laws, say what you want, I don't care, it's fine, it's all good, I can love you. But you're not allowed, pumping these people full of these psychedelic hormonal medications is crazy. You've got Chloe Cole, which if you don't know who Chloe Cole is, she was transitioned at a very young age, no breasts, no uterus, no ovaries, and now she's an adolescent, older, young adult female who is very much trying to make her way back to the woman God created her to be, only with some permanent scars that she can't take back, like carrying a baby to term. She posted this, take a look. She said, many will wonder the reason why these men, and she's referring to the Rhode Island shooter, always transition into mirrors of their ex-wives. It's because Is it because, she's asking the question, is it because of pent-up resentment, anger, jealousy, loneliness, what? No, it's much more obvious than that. It's a fetish. It always was just a fetish. So this is what happened. We now know the Rhode Island shooter shot his family, and largely because it's assumed by surviving family members that are saying this, not me, because he was angry at his family, even his ex-wife, for not supporting his decision to affirm his mental illness of thinking he's a man in a woman's body.
Like, honestly, the fact that she even pointed that out just makes me sick to my stomach. Like, you have a mental illness if you are transitioning yourself from male to look like your ex-wife. Like, what kind of,
And
I
this
really
is
want to
Chloe
say
saying
all
this.
the F words. Like, what kind of effed up stuff is in your mind? Like, I don't get it. And honestly, we have a candidate who is running in Rhode Island, and we are going to put out a press release about this here pretty soon. Essentially, it's U.S. House candidate Vic Meller extends condolences to the families of those that were murdered and wounded in Pawtucket ice rain. But he pledges to pursue policies that support genuine medical services and medical science, proven mental health services free from political ideologies, because this is what happens when mental health is pushed by ideology. We just talked about this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it is a problem.
Yeah, you are adding unnatural chemicals to people's bodies. And you think what? I mean, here's the thing, and I'm just going to be very raw and real, and I don't care if somebody clips it. If you are a man and you want to put on a size 13 pair of Louis Vuittons, like, do you? You know what I mean? That's fine. Like, they do. I've seen them. Don't ask me how. But I'm saying it's up to you. I don't think you should be bullied for that. I don't think you should be harassed for that. You certainly have a right to your life and liberty for that. But you're not going to push me to have to affirm that wrong belief, in my opinion. And if you're going to inject hormones into you to become more hormonal, where's the crowd that used to joke and say women are hormonal? You know what? Sometimes we are. Why do you want to put that into a man's body and think something psychologically is not going to split?
Yep. It just, I mean, that just makes logical sense. But Michelle, we can't be logical now. It's offensive.
It's offensive. I know.
It's offensive and it's racist.
Well, we have to get serious about this, because what's happening is it's affecting the safety and livelihood of the general public. This is where it becomes now my business, because what you do in your bedroom and what you do behind closed doors, I largely don't care about. But when you step into an ice rink that's having a championship game for high schoolers, and now your mental illness and your mistreatment of that and your hyped up on drugs now causes innocent death, innocent life to be lost, where are all the people screaming about the mass shootings in schools? You know why they've gone silent? Because they're part of the problem. Again, they create the problem and then complain about the problem.
Yeah. Yep. And offer no solution. And when we do offer solutions, we're thrown with all the names.
You're Nazis.
You're racist.
You're Nazis. You're whatever.
Nazi. You're fascist. You're offensive. It reminds me of that comedian who I can't even remember his name right now.
Wait, the older one, George Carlin?
Yeah, no, it's not George Carlin. It's a newer guy. I can't remember his name to save my life, but he is so funny. He's like, you're racist. And it's so funny the way he does it, and it cracks me up. It cracks me up.
Well,
Brewer, I think is his last name. Jim, is it Jim?
Oh, he's from right here in Florida.
Yeah.
He was at General Flynn's event. I know who you're talking about. Somebody's going to, what is it? Jamie Brewer, thank you.
I think it's him, yeah.
Brewer, it's Brewer, yeah. He's amazing. You guys got to look him up, because you, again, make comedy great again. We should be able to laugh about things that are funny. But yeah, so guys, keep it locked here for more on this Rhode Island shooting. We've said it before on the show many times. You can go back and search it. The number of mass shootings that we've had and how that gender ideology has hugged the line of that. We're not talking about the issue. Again, it's not a gun issue. We just had people assaulted in a high school, bless you, in a high school bathroom using a foot. So you know what? It's not a gun issue. It's a heart issue. It's a conscious issue. It is an anger issue, and it is a ideological issue. Allie, I want to fast forward a little bit. David, can we bring up the clip about ICE? You were talking about ICE and their messaging and how to these are people's fathers, brothers, mothers. Some of them might be of the same ideology as us. Some of them are not. They just want to serve their country by cleaning up the streets. So this is an ICE agent who kind of bit back a little bit, and it's very, very cute. Take a look.
I like it.
This isn't a good look for you.
You think I care about my look?
No, oh no, trust me.
When you guys
it is evident by how you look, you don't care. We get that, trust me. No, that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying this, trying to be a social warrior. If you actually cared, you probably would care about the child who got raped and also the person who got murdered by the person that we were looking for. But see, you don't care.
No, I don't care because you guys try. You just try to detain legal immigrants.
Again, like totally just didn't even cognitively, like it didn't land. Like it landed on rock. Like, you know, the story in the Bible where they talk about
seed. Yeah.
The seed, right? And it's rocky seed, or it's like rocky soil, or it's like fertile soil. Like it did not land at all. She's like, no, I don't care.
Concrete.
You tried to arrest a citizen, and then he's like, no, ma'am.
No, it's obvious you don't care.
More gay ICE agents. Thank you.
I know. He was charming, very charming. And a lot of them, they're taunted. These people deserve raises and they deserve medals because it's like local law enforcement. They when they're at these activist rallies, they get taunted. And it's you know what? It happens at school board meetings. Since when does your little hiney walk into a school board room and address an elder, whether you agree with them or not, by their first name? Do you know what would have happened to me in my household if I wasn't like Mr. or Mrs. and I was like Karen, Bridget, Robin? Like, do you know? Are you like, tell me that we're going to have a lesson. That's going to be a lesson.
And you know what? You know what's funny is like now that I'm older, I kind of weaponize respect in a way. Like if I
do tell.
I will purposely call you sir or ma'am or your title if there's a situation. It just requires, I don't know, I'm sassy.
Listen, if you can deliver a message that's strong and full of facts and you can do it respectfully, you can even raise your voice a little bit. I will respect that. That is a craft.
I do too.
Such
and
as
we get a lot of respect when we go to speak at these meetings because we're very firm when we speak because we are about the issue. We provide a solution and give you proper roles and responsibilities. And we're like, we're not standing for this. I don't know what the hell you think you're doing, but this isn't part of what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep. And the door will either open or be slammed shut in our face. And if it is shut, we'll kick it down because we got no problem with that. Take a look. We're taking cues from
red lipstick and all
from the strong leadership from the top down. And I'm becoming more and more of a Marco Rubio fan in his role, one of his many roles as Secretary of State. He's talking here about the separation of powers. Again, think about the global governance of all these organizations, these three-letter NGOs, trying to say what we're going to be a part of. And he's like, no. You don't override our branches of government and our sovereignty. Take a listen to Marco Rubio.
The decision to remove someone from our country after we take away our visa, that belongs to other agencies of our government. As far as judges are concerned, judges, that's a different branch of government. They're not going to tell us how to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. If they have an issue with the process by which someone was removed, then obviously that's an issue for other agencies in our government that are involved in enforcing that. All I can opine to you on is taking away someone's visas. And no judge is going to tell the executive branch how to conduct foreign policy because that's not up to judges, that's up to the executive branch.
Boom!
Yes!
No third-party NGO with ties to Minneapolis and Tampa is going to step into your school district and tell you what you have to do with your children and with your students and with your teachers' unions. No, because know your lane. Right. And I think let's take the leadership from the top down. We're almost out of time, but I did want to remind our viewers, guys, get out your phones, mark your calendars, get your popcorn ready. Make sure you invite your family and friends to President Trump's State of the Union coming up February 24th, which I am looking at is actually next Tuesday. Tuesday. I recommend that you tune in to a independent network near you. Let's not give the CBS and the NBCs the viewership. No. They're not going to cover it. They're not. They'll cut to commercial break and mute Trump's mic on their feed.
Right.
Go to your Real America Voice. Even I think Patriot will probably have it. Possibly OAN, Newsmax, some of the other networks, Right Side Broadcasting. We might even have something here on Talk Red because you do want to listen to that.
We might even cover it here on Open Mic. It just
with our gremlin.
Right, you never know. He can be giving commentary. It'll be hilarious. He needs his own social media. I might work on that. I really do. But also, if you are on X, you can also join in to Punch Bowl. I'm pretty sure they'll cover that, and then they'll also cover it in Trump Tuesday later on in the evening. So if you are on X, and then you have the opportunity to discuss it real time. So they'll play it. You'll listen to it, and then you can discuss what you think about it afterwards, which is great.
It's exactly what this country was founded on. Listen, they literally, the term lighting the midnight oil is because they stayed up all night debating some topics and with good discussion. And we miss that in this country because the left has gone off the liberal deep end and we don't have anybody to debate real good policy with. So we create that here in this independent media circle. And I'm grateful, Allie, to be doing that with you. Guys, that's it for us with Open Mic, ladies. Like what you hear? Allie and I will both be in studio on Friday, so make sure you guys tune in. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, live. Like, share, subscribe.
We love y'all. Have a great day.